question you can possibly imagine.
Witness protection.
Oh, we had a guy 2 weeks ago. He started here at the shop, and this is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. And everyone who works here has to sign a disclosure agreement that basically says, I understand my face may be seen in the background, and I'm not going to sue you for that. And he signed this document reluctantly. And then a camera pulled up within about 15 feet of him, and the camera, before the camera got up in place, and I'm not exaggerating, he ran at full speed all the way through the shop and out the door, never to be seen again. Holy crap, what happened there? Apparently, somebody wanted this guy bad, and he didn't want to be found. So, yes, I am, I tell people when they interview here, if the mafia, the police, or some foreign entity is after you, don't work here. All right, so, what are your questions?
Yes, sir. The vet, the convertible, basically, how much would one of those setups cost?
The top, what you see there, which is the top, the frame, and all the hardware to put it on the car, is $5,500. The better question is, how much is the original trim? Because we're still developing the replacement trim. An original set of window trim in and out is currently market value about $8,000 to $13,000 for just the window trim. Oh yeah. This stuff is stupid expensive, and that's why when the guy wrote, after he restored a 63 Corvette on TV, there was an idiot, a flippin' moron online, probably, some troll, said, everyone knows you can restore any Corvette for $20,000. Folks, I can barely buy the window trim for $20,000. Forget restoring the whole car for that.
So out the door, that would be around how much?
Well, like I say, that's $5,000. We're trying to develop the trim right now. We're working to get the trim price for everything down to about $2,500. So about $7,500 out the door. Now that's, you paint it and install it on your car.
That's not bad.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
How much did the shell of that Shelby cost that guy who had it restored when he purchased it?
Oh, what did he pay for the rotted out one? Neighborhood of 50, I think. Neighborhood of 50? And that's not dollars. Yes?
The car you restored for your wife, the Camaro,
Yeah.
was it as bad as that Mustang?
Oh, it was actually much worse. Yeah. It was, there was no debating that it was beyond economical repair. And it was stupid pride and letting some guys practice on a car that was in gruesome shape. That car actually looked like it had come out of the bottom of the ocean after about 20 years. Yeah. It was actually far worse even than the Shelby. Yeah.
It ended up being a beautiful car.
It did, but it was a stupid investment. It's one of those things when you got done, you go, damn, that was stupid.
But look at all the brownie points you made.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. I'm not sure that. Yeah.
I saw that episode. Is your wife's car here?
Yes, it is.
Awesome.
It's right there. It's got the pink flames on it right there. In fact, it was just out on the front lawn today. It was out for a ride today. Yes, sir.
How long is your contract with the network, and what's the advantage of being on the network to you personally?
What's the advantage of being on a TV show? I'm still working on that one. It really depends on your personality. There are people who would literally sell their souls to get a television show, and if you are the narcissistic type that desperately wants to be on TV, then it's whatever. Believe it or not, I actually am the kind, like in a New Year's celebration, I go off in the corner. At the dances in school, I was always the wallflower over in the very corner to try to stay hidden. I was never that type. So for me, not actually wanting to be a public figure, it would be hard to say that there were any real advantages. The thing that I like about the show best and what it does is when I go to public events and shows and things like SEMA, I will get countless people that will walk up to me and say, thank you for telling the truth about the business that we have, because so many other shows give falsities and they show that you build a car in days and they show that you can build any car for $5,000. And builders that know that it takes 5 years and hundreds, and potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars to build the cars. These are the guys that come over and they shake my hand and they hug me and they say, Thank you, because you're actually educating the public. And for me, that is the number one thing I get out of the show. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I say that we really love your show.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for doing what you do. You had a show that showed maybe a very tender side of you that you don't seem to.
I have no tender side. Let's make sure we understand.
You did a 51 Buick,
Yeah.
and the man died,
Yeah.
and you finished it for the family.
Well, and let me just. There was some very specific things that tied me to that man. First of all, he was a military guy in Vietnam, and I look at the poor bastards that served in Vietnam as the most unsung heroes in our military history we've ever had. I mean, let's face it, if you went to Korea, you came back and you were a part of the citizen. If you went to World War II, you came back and you were a hero. You went to Vietnam and you came back to some of the nastiest people in the world. So unfortunately, those poor guys and gals who came back from Vietnam were really dealt a miserably horrible hand. So for any of you out here who are veterans, but especially Vietnam, my hat's off to you, and God bless and thank you. So he was one of those men, and truly, I think was deserving. But the second thing that he personally pulled on my heartstrings, and you guys never saw this on TV, was of all the customers I've ever had, he was the one that there was an almost unnatural bond that he sort of attached himself to me. And look, I have a lot of people that say, look, I only want you to build my car. I only want FantomWorks to be part of this project. But the man, and to come as close as I can to quoting, he said, Dan, if I have to get down on my hands and knees and crawl from California, you are the only man and the only shop I will let touch my car. Will you please? And I mean, he was very, very passionate and I mean, a tremendous amount of empathy for this man, for what he had been through. He had already been to 4 shops, and he had so many problems with his car, and it was causing problems in his marriage and problems in his life. It was really hard to ignore a man that fell in love with the car that much. I mean, you know what I mean? He was almost to the level of being obsessed with that car. So I couldn't help take on the car, and then have him die in the middle of the build. What do? You know, I quite honestly, I was in tears myself when I got the news, because his wife and daughters, they idolized this man. He was an amazing man, and due to the most bizarre set of circumstances, what killed that guy was almost like you would almost have to be under 3 unlucky stars in a row to have everything happen to you that happened to him. It was like, almost unnatural. So it was impossible not to have him.
You did good.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes,
Yes,
to sort of dovetail on that and what you said earlier, it's also interesting when you get cars in, you've been to 3 or 4 other shops, and you take something apart and you go, what were they thinking? What? Why? What? And it gives people an idea that you got to be careful and know your shops and get some customer feedback, or get some kind of, because they will just, well, I've done them before, and they'll take off and try it the best they can and screw it up more than.
Oh yeah. Let me point out just a couple of very basic and obvious points. Anyone who says they're going to restore a car for $50,000 or less, they are lying their asses off to you. They are lying their asses off. It cannot be done. I don't mean they probably can't do it. I mean it is absolutely impossible. And here's why. On an average build, and by the way, we now have a parts account where we spend $500,000 to $1 million a year on parts. You're not getting better prices on parts than I am. I'm buying more than almost anyone for classic parts. Okay, so my price point on parts is less than you're going to buy, and my average build, I will spend $35,000 to $45,000 on parts. So take that from $50,000, and there's almost nothing left. We've literally eaten up 80% of our budget. Let's say an average of 40. So if I spend $40,000 on parts, I'm asked to build you a car for $10,000. I can't build a car to the quality I'm building. Probably the lowest average hour count for a a muscle car build is about 1,200 hours, and that's 1,200 hours if you bring me in a car that isn't a rotted out piece of shit. Okay? So 1,200 hours goes into $1,000. That would be $8 an hour. Okay, first of all, I don't have... The guy that cleans the toilet or sweeps the floor makes more than that. Okay? My shop cost, what I write checks for, is about $65 an hour. By the time I pay the taxes, the insurance, the employee costs, the OSHA compliance, and all this stuff, $65, which is my cost before profit, to $1,200. Who can borrow $50,000? They're lying their asses off. So they're either doing it for you as a favor, which send them to me, I will have them work for me all day long, or they're lying. That's the only two choices about it. And in reality, shops that say that, the only way they can come close to it is they literally have to cut every corner in the world. And if they can't, I've invited, right now I'm in front of a whole lot of people, if there's a shop out there that claims that they can do a proper restoration of any muscle car for $50,000, I'll bet you $10,000, right, and I'm online. $10,000 is an offer. $10,000, you cannot do it. That's it. I'm done. Can't be done. All right, next question. Yes.
I always learned about the reality shows and how much the people in the show make from the network or the Discovery or the Velocity channel. They pay them directly. You get paid by Velocity for them to do your show.
Okay. Are you the customers get paid or do I get paid?
Do you get paid? Does Velocity pay you to do the show?
You're asking me that in front of 75,000. I will tell you this. For the first 2 years of the show, every show we produced together, I got paid less than a 16-year-old girl on Teen Mom got paid by MTV to talk about her pregnancy. I did 2 years of the show for less than a teen mom got paid to talk about her pregnancy.
How much was that?
And I will tell you that it was far, far, far less than I wrote checks for. There's a cost to doing a show, right? Every scene you see where we need it quiet, we have to stop. Every time you see an employee in front of a camera, the customer's not paying for that time I am. So there is a very high price that I pay in lost work to shoot the show, and so that's what I'm going to answer on live TV. Yes.
Will you do any more cars for disabled veterans?
Cars for disabled veterans. The Virginian pilot, 1 month, we advertised in February of 15 or 16. February 15, we advertised that we were giving away a car that we spent about $120,000 on. I'd only raised about 50 or 60 grand to build the car. And 1 month before we gave it away, the Virginian pilot thought it would be a lot of fun to do an article that says, we've raised money and haven't given a car away yet. They didn't bother saying that it will be given away next month. They just said we have not given a car away and tried to turn me into an absolute just dog on the front page of the Virginian pilot. And what I discovered is the Virginian pilot has they don't give a flying crap. The truth is, they only care what makes good press. So they published this front page story that they didn't collect and yet give away a car. The American Cancer Society has, I think they're up to $2 trillion in resources and have yet to solve cancer. So, let's do that front page ad, but of course they won't. So, they basically pasted me on the front page of the Virginian pilot, and at that point, virtually all donations stopped, and I was already underwater about 60 grand. So we gave away 3 cars because we had 3 in the build. We gave away 3 cars, And we have basically stopped the program as a result of the wonderful people at the Virginian Pilot. So, no, we're done. Yes.
So, how many projects do you have going on at a time, and what's your backlog now to take on work?
We have about 65 projects running any minute, and backlog really depends on the customer. I got a call from a guy today, and there's a very, very good chance I will take his car next week. I've had requests that are 3 years old, and I will refuse to take them because a lot of people have completely ridiculous requests. It is ridiculous to do a $150,000 restaurant and someone says I've got a $10,000 budget. Well, I'm sorry, folks. I'm not wasting my time trying to negotiate the difference between $10,000 and $150,000. If somebody says I have $100,000 and it's probably $150,000, I will talk to them and we will see if we can, at least come to an understanding that it will be what it will be. When you offer 10 cents on the dollar, we're not even going to have a conversation. The conversation is over. Yes, sir. There was.
Yeah, a little confusion about the names. You got DRS, you got FantomWorks Automotive.
Well, it's DRS FantomWorks is the name of the company.
FantomWorks, what's the DRS?
Daniel Richard Short. That's me. That's my sister's fault. Can't blame me. I named the company FantomWorks, and my sister, just before I filed for my paperwork, and remember, this is years before the show came out, she said, you have to put your name on your shop. And I said, I'm not putting Dan's shop. And she said, then put your initials. So that's what DRS is. It's DRS FantomWorks. That's the name of the company. Anything else? Yes, sir.
So you got Toyota Land Cruiser out there.
Yeah.
I've seen it like on your website, and
Right.
so I guess it's like somebody here owns that.
That's me. Oh, that's a car that I built before this company was ever created. Me and my son built that in my driveway 14 years ago.
So I'm saying, you talk about muscle cars. Do you ever do four-wheel drives or off-road?
Not very often, because most four-wheel drives and off-road vehicles are relatively new, right? They're just a very limited number of 60s and 50s off-road vehicles, and we generally build after 1973 because two things happened in 1973. One is the oil embargo, which forever changed the way we built cars. We filled them with plastics and wires and bad manufacturing processes. And then the second thing that happened was the EPA shoved every type of smog and crap on the cars you could possibly imagine. And if we take a car that has a piece of smog equipment and we in any way, so much as changing the jetting on a carburetor, guess what the federal fine is for modifying in any way a piece of smog equipment on a car? Huh? $50,000 per vehicle. And yes, I know a company that not that long ago, they went back in their records, found out that they had done something like 50 cars wrong, and it was a multi-million-dollar EPA fine, and they were forced to pay. Yes. So I don't mess with those cars because you're not going in. All right.